Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I'm truly thrilled and energized to be here today. We've had such great topics for those of us who are in this industry. When it comes to infrastructure projects, those of us who are involved in the industry, we have a high level of transparency and collaboration. We have an openness to innovation and a strong alignment amongst program and public stakeholders. You can see the evidence of this as you look across the room. Think about the panels we had earlier today, the presentation by Rick Cotton, where, there's true evidence of this integration and collaboration and the successes he showed us in the Port Authority. These success-oriented advantages will serve us well as we look ahead to these major programs. It was amazing today to see not only the list from the Port Authority, but Amtrak, and we look forward to the mega project panelists later today. We need to continue to lean into these positive attributes. We need to continue to collaborate and coordinate, right? As we begin thinking about programs on the horizon, a real key is to be solution-focused, especially as we manage these programs. When you're managing any type of program, the basics are essential. It's critical that we are focused on safety, risk management, scope, schedule, budget, stakeholder engagement. Those are the basics, and they're proven, and we have to have them as critical elements of our management. We need to enhance those basics through solution-focused program management. Really and truly leveraging those by creating a new dynamic. I think you heard it from Rich in particular right before lunch today. We have to act differently. We have to think less linear. It's no longer a single project, but rather a number of projects, a number of stakeholders, and we have to act differently there. We have to incorporate in our actions being strategic. We talked earlier about moving slow to go fast. I think that's a great analogy because it's a true investment in being strategic, looking over the horizon of what needs to happen, anticipating what's happening, and creating a plan to address those issues or opportunities that come along. Having that dynamic strategic program plan serves to align the project participants. Things change over time, and as they change, we need to have a plan for that. But more importantly, with the number of project participants, they have to be aligned to what the new plan is and what the ultimate outcomes must be. Sorry, this isn't advancing, but let's try that. Yeah. Okay, sorry about the slides, guys. When we look at a multi-year program, ideally, we would look for a nice, smooth curve, right? It's one where, everything's planned out right, everything goes right, and yet that's not reality, right? things change, and we have to be prepared for those changes. This next graphic depicts a single project where maybe we haven't invested in that strategy, right? Thinking ahead. And what you're seeing here are setbacks. And with each of those setbacks, think about the resources. You know, that volume between the curve, the resources that are needed in order to get back to where you want to be. And then let's compound that. Back one. Let's compound that complexity, right, by superimposing the number of projects that are on our horizon today. You know, the number of consultants, the number of contractors, the number of railroad workers, the number of stakeholders, and even the community's ability to absorb the level of construction activity that's currently underway. You know, here in the tri-state region, you know, there are a lot of constraints, right? There's physical constraints, there's going to be resource constraints, and for this economy to continue to thrive, you know, it's critically dependent on having a strategy and a program management plan that looks out on the horizon such that the interfaces of these various projects are taken into consideration so that the economy can rely on the fact that certain aspects will still be available to them in terms of their infrastructure needs to continue to work through and be successful. I'd like to share a couple of examples of, you know, where I've worked and where this strategic program strategy has really been the essence of its success. One of those is on a program where it was a state DOT, where for them, the project was very complex and it was moving along slowly. And to accelerate that program, you know, we had to bring together individuals from various parts, both technical, commercial, and even legislative. We had to think outside of our box and what was only in our control. So, and even beyond what was the easy button, right? And in this particular case, in order to acquire the necessary right-of-way to make sure we met the proper timelines, required a legislative change, okay? And so being bold and brave, right, and recognizing the impact of that change to the program and having all the participants aligned with the fact that we wanted to achieve this goal, our client wanted to achieve this goal, we were able to enact legislation that not only accelerated the process, but it also served to protect the property owner's rights as well. In a delivery partner instance, I had a chance to work outside of the United States where there was an opportunity, a particular country who had an unmovable timeline. And in this instance, they had multiple programs going on concurrently, some of which were directly related to this unmovable timeline. And then on top of that, they had a special program that I was involved in that was to serve the communities. and improve the quality of life. So it was critically important for the local stakeholders that this program be successful. So with programs with hundreds of projects, think about the resources needed, right? And not only the number of resources needed, but how do you get them activated on time, right? Get them working sooner so that shortening that procurement process. So in this particular instance, again, we dove deep into the expertise of a wide range of delivery participants, okay? It didn't matter that the contracts were held by the owner. We were all partners, right? We came together to come up with a commercial solution that was different, but different required us to engage industry to get the right comfort level with industry that this was going to work as well. So creating that framework was important to getting this program delivered as well. So those are two instances. Sonia's sitting out in the audience. It'd be great to have her here talking today because another critical element of solution-focused program management is absolutely one where we are arm in arm with our technical leaders. Technical excellence is critically important, right? That's how we innovate. We need the best thought leaders in the room, and they need to be prepared to contribute. So again, leaning back into the strategic program plan, that helps us onboard new contributors to the goals and what the operations are so that they can be as effective and as efficient as possible and truly be able to immerse themselves in a collaborative environment and innovate. Not too long ago, I had the opportunity to be the program manager for the Bay Area Rapid Transit, BART, Link 21 program. This project is in its very early stages, and it was important that we get it off on the right foot. So BART invested in this early work, right? This early investment of strategic planning. And in fact, they've embraced it and published it. This is a public website. It's the Link 21 project website, and on the document library, you're going to see the strategic program plan. What's interesting about this is not only does it serve the delivery partners, but it also serves to inform the community and stakeholders as well. When I say the words anticipate, collaborate, and act, when I say the word solution-focused program management, and in fact, when I was talking about this earlier, some folks chuckled a little bit about it. Where did that term come from? It seems kind of simple, doesn't it? The words are simple, but it's really the deliberate actions that are critically important to making this work. Achieving success takes a lot of people, right? And again, back to the basics. I can't overemphasize the fact that this works on top of a strong foundation. It's critically important. We must have transparency. We must have visibility in what the plan is. And when it changes, we have to be in a position where we can adjust not just our thinking, but when you have, how many projects did we see earlier today? At least 20, right? And so with each of those, you've got designers and contractors and stakeholders. And, earlier I was talking to a gentleman from New York DOT. We've got permits, right? We've got a lot of things we have to be thinking about. So investing in that thinking early, thorough risk management, technical integration, understanding what we need to do, investing in developing a strategic program plan early, and making it dynamic. It isn't just a book on the shelf. It's really a dynamic environment that's focused on solutions and being thoughtful early on and continuously in order to achieve project success. At HNTB, we're advocates of being strategic and developing and investing in strategy and strategic program plans. Considering the major projects ahead, there's a real sense of urgency. That urgency is critical, right? We've got to get organized around this. And that organization, again, needs to be less of that hierarchy and more of a team. And in order for it to be efficient and effective, we all need to know our roles, because there could be some efficiencies if we don't. And then what's critically important is we stay focused on what the solution and the outcomes might be. Thank you.